We're here. How are you today? This is Joanna from the Early Morning Ascension Show, and today we're going to do Temple Time. Temple Time is our soaking in the wonderment of who we are as infinite souls of light, the spirit of who we are creating matter, and honoring that in the sacred teachings of love and light, the sacred teachings in our alignment of oneness with spirit, and how that affects all that is, the reality that we are experiencing ourselves as. That's what reality is. Reality is the moment for moment picture of the infinite aspects of who we are, and just allowing us in all moments of that reflection just to kind of soak in wherever we're at within the frames of the picture or the video or the movie, however you want to understand it. You're allowing yourself that reflection of love and acceptance and allness. And so that's kind of what awakening is all about. It's releasing the versions of you that were held within stories of conformity and limitation, because that's the whole story of planet Earth. You know, the separation from who we are as spirit, from three-dimensional beings, and our understanding of, we say 3D because it's a consciousness experience and density experience. It's not a place or a thing. It's an experience of who we are as density from our ultimate aspect of love and light and oneness with spirit. All aspects of life are birthed from spirit. All aspects of life are the macro spirit, and the elegant systems of life within light, light within light, and life within all life, because there are infinite layers and levels of elegance. And those of us that are empaths, crystals, and Christ consciousness, beings that we've attuned our bodies and we've activated our gifts by releasing the density stories of limitation and lesser than stories, we allow ourselves to see through the life within life. We get to see those threads, and we get to see those stories through vibrational tools and gifts that we each carry, and all are different. Everybody, every soul comes with an infinite packet of gifts and skills, because you come with an infinite soul. And that soul, as you're honoring who you are in all moments, the allowance of that love, the allowance of who you are in your allness, and the reality you're creating in your allness, because it's a now reflection, and it's going to continue to get quicker. That's why the understanding of the right use of will and what you put out is going to come back really quick. So then you get to see, wow, am I really creating from this intention of allness and this intention of my fullness of spirit and soul, or am I still creating from a limitation of a fear? And all fears are just illusions. They're just illusions from the stories that you've carried throughout timelines, throughout the bodies that you've held, and the various forms that you're constantly harmonizing. Now is your now moment of harmony, and whatever timelines and lifetimes that you've held in whatever bodies, whether they're timelines, whether they're planets, they're going to come forward and face it in your reality through your interaction with creation. And you get to see, well, how do I want to create myself now? And you get to project yourself into this new experience of becoming. And remember, it is always the sacred trinity. Your soul, your oversoul, your oversoul of oversouls, and all of your connections back up to the highest elegant systems within systems within systems, and your experience with Gaia, and your experience with your collective. And then it goes back into the fragments of you as you ascend into a higher frequency of 5D. You're going to also be assisting the we say other fragments of you that are also going through ascension, that are on planets that are not yet activating in their ascension, but I mean, we're always evolving. And so those are aspects of you that you can offer your allness to, the various aspects of you that require your light, that require your understanding for fullest acceptance and fullest acknowledgement, because you have infinite variations of you. And why throughout your ascension cycle, you're going to be getting opportunities to reflect upon your experience moment for moment as a master, and living in that center, living in that honoring of presence, because when you're honoring your presence, your allowance is all that is going on before you. And that's a really hard shift to make, because when you're living in your presence of now, you're accepting that all is divine, all is well, all is perfect. Anything that comes up, and you might have a thread that goes, oh, what about what they said? And what about this? And what about that? And those are when your energy goes outside of you to recreate the inner knowing of who you are. And you just reclaim that energy. I reclaim all my power, whether it's through a worry or a concern, or others pulling on your energy because they've got stories they still want you to be a part of. And you can just say, no, I'm going to come into my presence, and this is where I choose to redirect all my energy back within. Or if the children are at school and they're starting to project so much anxiety about what it's going to look like, and what if, they're projecting all of that worry into those potentiations that they're creating timelines of that. And so what we wanted to talk about today is the infinite potentiation of now. And that infinite potentiation means that you're always going to be coming, because you're always going to be evolving to those higher fragments of you, those higher fractals of you. And it is sacred geometry. And so in your presence of now, you get to accept and acknowledge that all is well. All is always perfect. You're always going to be seeking those higher versions of you and those different versions of you, so that you can accept it, no matter how outlandish or ridiculous or however the words we want to judge, because the words are just words. And the less you judge anything and you just allow that experience just to be, your ego and your mind and old patterns and old belief and old dogma and whatever it is you've come from, all of these systems that you've come from, will want to start judging whatever is before you right now. So as you're aligning in the pillar of light and honoring and calling back all of your energy and all of your consciousness, so that you can use the all of you that's constantly being harmonized, the now harmony of your light, the now harmony of your allness, the now harmony of your love. This power of this now moment has the presence to say, okay, well, I'm going to release all that worry and all those other timeline energies, because I know they're just the fears of not knowing, fears of who my friends are going to be in school, fears of what next in this job role, or what if I leave my job and what next? All of those worries that just take up space in the timelines you're creating. So just understand that, just accept it. Wow, I'm spending a lot of attention and energy here worrying. So what if I just let that go? Let all the worry go. We're starting a new cycle. I'm calling back all of my light and all of my power and all of my consciousness that belongs to me, because I'm an epicenter of light, and I get to create from all the timelines, and I get to create from all the genius and all the wisdoms, and my acceptance of it all means that I get to work with it all. If I'm denying any part of it from any story, and then I start judging it and saying, no, 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 your acceptance of it and your including of it, you're including that level of light and that level of benevolency within the wisdom, because that's the divine relationship. Include all of it, because there's wisdom within it all. Release judgment, just accept it all. When you accept it all, you're including all of that wisdom and all of that light and all of that energy into this now moment, so that you can create something that you really want to desire. But that can only come within your presence, because if you're not present, those timeline stories of what was is just going to keep continuing. That's what's called the entrainment that we've done many of the illustrations on. That really helps you understand, wow, the mind just keeps going, because the mind is not used to surrendering the spirit. So when you surrender that lower mind to spirit, you get to use that higher mind, which is your spirit. Your higher mind says, well, go there, there, there. Let's create this now. Let's create this now. And that's that higher jump up, that higher evolution, which is of benefit to you, because your higher self will always direct you into what is better for you. These stories present themselves because you're carrying around those packets of soul evolution that want to be included. Right? It's always the inclusivity. How can I include this packet of love? How can I include this packet of worry? What am I worrying for? Spirit's got me. I'm surrendering to spirit. It'll always be something better. The evolution of who you are is always going to be an allowance factor, because if you're not allowing who you are to come forward and face yourself and just say, well, this is just a portion of me that I need to accept. I need to accept that, well, I got to let go. It's not for me to solve. Or I got to let go. There's something better for me. But that entrainment says, well, this is all I've ever known. Those smaller beliefs, that I wasn't valued or I wasn't important. I've got to hang on to things that don't fit me anymore. It's just like wearing an outdated pair of jeans that don't fit. They're uncomfortable. They're not in style. They're not in your new fashion of who you are. They don't belong to the energy and the essence of who you are. So they must be just recycled into something new. But accept it. That was a beautiful part of my fashion identity. But now I want to be something new. I get to recreate myself with spirit. But I want to include it, right? And just allowing that love of the all to continually transform, because love is the most powerful experience in our universe. But you can't feel the allness of your love unless you're present with it. And just be present with love. I intend in this moment. And the dogs always show me when we're on point. And just be present with the allness that you're gathering. Just getting so much love. I have so much love for myself and everything I've experienced, and how I was able to honor and accept all others in that experience, and how that experience just taught me more to be love, taught me what I'm really worthy of, taught me the skills that I have to change direction, to reflect or to observe more greatly into where I'm putting my time or my energy, or what I really, really am to create with myself and my spirit. I just want to be present. Calling up the pillar of light. And then really claim that place within your space, right here. This divine sacred center, this mother and the father, because there was always a divine relationship, always. It's never not with you. How you evolve as a being of multidimensional chemistry and biochemistry, the spirit matter and the physical matter, is through the mother father. The purity of your intention is your being balanced in male and female, of the receiving and the sending and the being and the intending and the will of love. That's the mother father frequency. The excitement of when you create, that's when you're pushing off into new. That's when the divine child wakes up, because the divine child says, thank you, mother father, for nourishing me. I don't need anything outside of me. I don't need any social experience. I don't need any, system or structural definition to say who I am. I receive the definition of belonging from me, because I have that will to receive from spirit. I am spirit. I am the divine mother and the father frequencies and all of the beautiful, the loving angels and the loving beings of the Christ consciousness that we each come from. We get to activate it through our light intentions, being of light intention. I intend to activate the love and the light and the gentleness and the lightheartedness of myself. I get to see myself in the presence of light, presence of being light. I get to see the world as light. And I know that anything that comes forward wants to be included in my story. And I'm going to include it because I want to see all of it. I want to be my all. And I get to say, I get to have discernment and choice too. That I'm willing to let that go. I'm willing to let that go. I'm willing to let that go. But I want to keep a piece of this. And I'm just going to bring this with me just because it makes me feel good that I've earned that. I've earned that strength. I've really earned that strength to be who I am and speak my truth. As again, the chakras come forward. That's been the story of my all souls path, is no matter what outside and outer experiences want to project any less than story to you, that you're not important, you're not valued. Wow. That you have the potentiation within you just to be that presence with it. Wow. That story was there because I absolutely have the opposite of all of these expressions that absolutely require my voice. My owning of it is the presence of it. Does that make sense? So any understanding of where your soul's ascension cycle is, and they're showing me that one of you listening right now is having an experience where you're not feeling confident or sacred within your own creative gifts. So anything that you're seeing in your reality right now will show you these experiences and interpretations of where that belief is so. That you might have an encounter with someone that says, that wasn't good enough, do it again. Because you're just confirming to yourself that belief. That's what you're radiating. So people will come to you to show you every aspect and angle of that belief until you go within. That's why you want to do that daily self-care. You want to be present with it, to say, wow, that's where that was coming from. And I get to own that because I'm the one that took the time to go through and do that daily self-care. I'm getting to want to say, what have I been calling into myself? What is that showing me? Wow, I can take ownership and honor of it now, and I can claim it, and I can call it into my story and say, now I'm including you because I really am creative. I really am gifted, and I get to use it now. You're going to include it within the allness. You're present with it. When you're present with any one of these story beliefs, present with it, whether it's subjugation, abuse, being controlled, whatever those issues are, because they're present within everyone on our planet right now, because that's what our planet is healing. Separation through subjugation. And then that separation creates even further programs of control and greed and all of those sub-programs, because that's what separation is all about. Feeling greater than another, feeling better than another, feeling like you want to win over another, or have more than another, or take over another, or take something from another. All of those are fear programs of not enough. And they're all in your vibrational stories. And it goes back to the root cause. Am I enough with me? Because that's where all that comes from. You can create all of those paradigm dynamics, but it will always be, I am enough and I got to get it from within me. I got to be right within me. I got to create that belief now with me. And you'll see why you've created all of these stories and minutiae and experiences until you return back to center. Well, I really am enough. I do deserve great love. I do deserve a higher vibrational love that reflects to me. Because the over-giving and the overdoing and the over-fixing is only just allowing everybody else to be enabled not to, right? And so many empaths and so many light workers are like that, right? You end up attracting all others that say, yeah, I want to take from you and I'm going to overtake from you. Because you have a belief that you have to just keep giving and you have to keep fixing, you have to keep doing, because there's a belief within you that says, no, you're worthy enough just to be here and be accepted and be loved and be gifted with love, just because you're a beautiful, loving person. You don't have to do anything. And that's a release right there. Because in our 3D systems, our socio systems, economic systems, which are now socio-altruism, the evolution of our planet and our collective, our planet moving through this galactic experience, and she's coming into her oneness, and she says, yeah, I'm enough. I'm enough, galactic family. Come and be with me in this enterprise of participation of galactic oneness. Each and every one of us are micro macro to the ascension plan that the creator says this is what's happening for planet Earth. And each and every one of you, each and every one of your soul aspects, each and one of your soul aspects of any planet that you've ever belonged to is now coming into a new harmonization of its part of participation within evolution. And if you're not present with whatever is showing you in every one moment, I can be the all of this moment. I can be present with it. And it's going to be hard. It's not easy. That's what takes courage. That daily self-care is courage. You got to see yourself in all of those moments through which you held yourself back from the perfection that Spirit breathed you as. You've always been perfect. You've always been miraculous, but you have to own it for yourself. And then you have to start making accountability with your choices that you held yourself outside of it, or you held others outside of it. Because it's not for anyone to hold obligation to anyone. You're only here to work and be with you, anybody and all people. Our children are here and born as masters, but we teach them, we give them outdated belief patterns that they're unimportant, they're not valued, or they have to belong outside systems to be valued or nurtured or honored, or they get bullied or they get set aside or separated. Right? We've all been through it. So be present with it and say, what are we creating for our reality? And just be in breath. Calling in breath, spirit. And I want to call in all of my soul aspects. What is my reality showing me right now? I'm calling in the higher self. I love you, spirit. Thank you. And your spirit and your soul will just say, it's just time for you to receive. And you say, I'm not used to receiving because I just give so much. And then spirit says, well, go deeper with that. Well, I don't have anybody in my reality that's giving to me right now. And spirit says, exactly. Because you haven't deemed yourself important enough to receive. You haven't deemed your vessel important enough to be present with your own acceptance of receivership. That's divine feminine. Everyone's healing it, whether you're a male body or female body. And they spirit says, go deeper. Well, I acknowledge this moment, spirit. Right now, I'm acknowledging that I'm giving myself permission to receive myself. I receive myself in this moment to know that I'm worthy of receiving greatness. The greatness of a great love from Spirit Creator, the greatness of being just me in genuine, authentic presentation to humanity, presentation to myself, because they're all fragments and fractals of me. I don't have to keep doing to get things. Just being me is enough. And I'm allowing myself that recognition that, yeah, I'm worthy of receiving greatness. I'm worthy of receiving really good friends that honor me. I'm worthy of receiving a really great tribe that want to gift back, because I do give a lot. I really do. And I acknowledge that part about me, and I'm receiving it back to myself, because the outer reality was not showing it back to you because their heart chakras were closed, and they kept showing you. You can keep being around those that don't give back to you in kind or in measure, but they're going to show you their closed hearts, because you at some point have to understand, and you have to acknowledge within yourself, am I willing to keep giving to something that's on its own path and its own pacing? And then when you step out of that story, they then have to wake up to who they are, because you're that light experience that just kept things on an even keel. And when you leave, things will be all flip-floppy and imbalanced, because now they understand of how much really you gave. Then they get to go within and be their own infinity, say, wow, what did I create and choose for myself? How can I be present with who I am now? How can I be present within my own acceptance now? How can I be present within, wow, I really am a powerful creator and I didn't need that person. I can get it for myself. But they were an integral part to show you. So you did need them in that respect to be that reflection to you, but you don't need to get things and take things from people. That's what we mean by didn't need them. You needed them for that reflection to say, hey, wake up. You've got a belief here and you're causing a lot of challenge and drama that you don't have to. You don't have to. You can include it in your story and say, wow, I can make a better choice now because I can really get that love from within. I can really be that love from within, and practicing it is the hardest part. And that's why most people, a lot of people are not on the same pace as many others, because some have such wounding that their heart chakras and their whole chakra system has been shut down. And there's so many imbalances mentally, physically, emotionally, etherically. And that's where it takes, the healing takes time. Everybody is on a unique pace and a unique path, and they have to go through their own navigational journey to say, what are they willing to be present with? And sometimes those wounds are really hard to be present with because they created those wounds. They had them from other timelines that must be brought forward. Because if it's not brought forward to be present with, those beliefs will still continue. And a lot of them are about control. Why do I feel the need to control? Why do I feel the need that I have to control an outcome? Well, because you think that you're not going to get what you want, and that's ego. In the perfect world of spirit, you're always going to get exactly what you're worthy of. Spirit knows you're perfect, but do you? That's the belief. Because you kept seeking outside of you for that version and that reflection of perfection. No, you were already perfect. Just know it. Start acting like it, behaving like it. I'm loving. And we don't mean perfect in the fact of ego perfect. When you drop and surrender to spirit and you just fall in love with that presence that spirit shows you, and spirit will say, keep going deeper. It's still deeper. It's still deeper. There's more to that story. You want to get to the bottom of that story because it will continue to bring up all that you are. All of those aspects of not being accepted and wanted and valued are on other timelines, and they require that light from you because they're a part of going through their evolution just like you are. And so you want to say, well, I'm going to call in that version. Yeah, I accept you now. You're part of my all this. I just want to be love. I'm just going to be love for me. Yeah, it's nice to give out, but right now I want to work on receiving me. I want to receive me as the highest version of love. And I want to give the highest version of love for me because I can. And I get to receive it. Right? And I get to see it in my world for everything. Because as I'm intending love, I get to see love and I get to see it reflect love. And as you intend your space, you intend to be love and be the experience of you and the genuine authenticity of you and all that sacred child adventure and excitement and conjuring that sacred child can be with all of creation, all of the levels of art and mystery that is spirit. And you're in that vibration of the sacred child, that's where the miracles happen. Because you've harmonized, you've synchronized. That's what synchronicity is. You're synchronizing with the spirit, inspiration of spirit, the in of spirit. Synchronicity is the in alignment of spirit. You absolutely know you're in alignment. Spirit will show you through all the synchronicities. And they're miraculous ones. That's how when you're going in and doing your daily self-care and you're being present with it, you will be present with how spirit shows you. Yes, you're in alignment. You got great things. Think bigger, think bigger, think bigger. Because you know that you can create something from nothing. Because you're including it all. I can include anything. Yeah, I can make it. I can see it from all different angles and all different realms and all different directions because I'm magnificent. I'm huge. I'm massive. And so too are you. So start living like it. Start being it. Because now is where the potentiation of now is profound. The potentiation of how love is within the now is always. And that's without a doubt. It doesn't matter how something may seem or appear or be judged, because that judge is just the ego looking for it to place it within a box. So that's where you're stepping out of linearity and stepping into your omnipresence. There is always love. So take a deep breath. Just release what no longer serves. We're going to be healthy and vibrant, and we're going to be in love with ourselves in this now moment because we're intending it. I'm just grounding. Spirit, I want to feel the all of who I am in this moment, the all potentiation in this moment. I'm releasing all stories from a moment ago, all stories from every moment since I was born. I'm just going to release all the stories to the Holy Creator and to all that is my own Christ consciousness, because I know if I let go of anything that's not serving me, my spirit guides will make sure that it's taken. I'm not going to take up time on working on things that are not meant to be worked on. Spirit will take care of it. Just let it go. Especially if you're an empath and a crystal and a light worker, you just want to keep your hands in things because you just want to see things of light. But most often than not, your teams will often say, if you have those urges just to see something work out, or you're spending so much time on any one thing, your team will say it's not for you to resolve. And there is, at the bottom of that experience, there is a fear. There's the fear of that letting go. There's a fear of that attachment that you had within that looking a certain way. That's the attachment of outcome, whatever that is, there's still something within it. So light workers have to continue to go to the root of, those attachment issues. And those attachment issues, make no mistake about it, if you are a teacher or a healer, you'll see those return back to you when your clients are moving through those energies of, returning back to you, or anybody, if it's in a relationship too, that there's those needs. And that's when you really want to start paying attention to the subtleties and the red flags. because nobody should really need you, except obviously for the children that they're caregiving of. But they come as masters with their own paradigms, and they want to allow themselves to step up to new levels as well, as you're slowly letting go and allowing them to spread their wings and become new versions of themselves in a grander, more expansive, exploratory expression of who they are. They want to test their emotional well-being. They want to test their direction of who they are within, because you've taught them so well and you've spent so much time nurturing and caring for them in that way, and reminding them to go within, being the highest caregiver of their body, being the highest understander of what am I feeling and how can I resolve that? How can I call that emotion forward and just include it? I don't have to be afraid of it. I don't have to be afraid of being rejected. Rejection's a part of all reality, but rejection is only a misnomer and a misunderstanding that you're always a part of the all. There's no such thing as rejection. It's just how you're perceiving it as rejection, but that's not really what rejection is. Rejection goes back to the core belief of the non-nourishment of parental care that you should have had and you could have had. But now you have to give it back to you, because you're always in alignment of allness and oneness. How you're perceiving it is rejection, but there is no real rejection. That's just source saying, that's not for you right now, try his, because this will give you far more satisfaction. It will give you that self-love that you actually deserve, and it will see, and it will reflect back to you. It's all a reflection of who you are within and what belief systems are you working from. And they'll usually all go back to the mother and the father dynamic. What was I shown as the mother? What was I shown as the father? And how do I be it for myself? Because they were only doing the best they could. That's why you release blame and shame and guilt and, all of those, the inner traumas that you end up spending 12,000 years in counseling to work out your inner child. Be it for you. If you're seeking that love and acceptance, be it for you. Everything that shows you, yeah, I accept this part of me, I accept it. And next time I have that choice present itself, I'm going to choose this now because I accept myself as a greater love. I deserve greater love. I deserve to have greater friendships that love me and honor me and want to help me build great things, or help me become, this beautiful experience of creation that has many gifts to offer, and not present defense to me all the time, or fighting or defenses to take, and to, having to protect yourself all the time because others have private agendas for you and of you because of their own definitions and roles they need you to play. And you just step out of that little hamster wheel, step out of the hamster wheel that you're going on, because this is the momentum of now. So your core vibration, you're just continuing, if you're in those vibrational stories of karma, if you will, the vibrational stories of your wounded self, the shadow, you're just creating a momentum of now that's just creating of lack, or not acceptance, or getting and doing. You're not abundant enough. You're not enough, whatever that energy is. So this is why it's so important to center in the power of now. What vibration are you feeling within you? And solve it, resolve it, give it back to you. Because they're illusions. You're absolutely accepted. You absolutely belong. You absolutely know that you're worthy of great love, but you need to give it to you so that you can create a new wheel of momentum. This new wheel of momentum creates a new experience of something positive. So your now experience of your allness, the power of now, I want this, I want the all of me, I want the power of me, I want the all to be presented to me. I'm not going to control outcome, because if you control outcome, you might only get this. If you control outcome, you're still working from the fears. If you let go of control, spirit will offer you all of this. Spirit will say, well, what about this, 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 and this? And you just let go and just say, I trust spirit. I'm going to surrender every moment. And that is your continuation, and you're continuing that momentum because you're allowing source to give it to you all. Say, source, I'm just going to allow love, and I'm going to be love, and anything that comes to me, I'm absolutely going to say, I accept this. Acceptance is the plus. I accept it. It's a part of me, and I'm going to allow something greater. I accept it. This is me. I'm going to allow something greater. And that's the divine heart space, the power of now. My now creates momentum. And I'm going to create it from a new version of centeredness, that I am perfect, that I've always accepted myself. I've always been a part of this creative reality. I always belong. I always am great in abundance. I'm always great in creativity, because that's the perfection of now. Build on the momentum of the perfection of now. And whatever comes up as a story to face you, accept it. Call it in. Say, yes, that is I absolutely have to face this experience that I have chosen to create. I face it. And now I choose this because this is my vibration. And I'm letting go of all that's not mine to fix. Because it was an illusion. It's not mine to fix. And then so spirit says, well, why did you think there was an illusion that you had to fix it? And then it goes back again. Well, because you had a timeline belief that you are here to do, because that's the egocentric experience of humanity. You've got to do to be approved and accepted and valued and honored in your community. No, and a lot of that comes from dogma and social systems. The doing and the getting, the awards and the diplomas and the this and the that. Do they really define who you are as spirit? It's an attribute, but it's not who you are as spirit. You wouldn't ask Buddha to provide you with certificates. Buddha, his energy and his essence is just all acceptance. I accept all that I am, and I learn from all moments, and I am the am. I'm all that I am. Every moment I'm going to change. I'm evolving. I'm creating that momentum of allness. I get my love from within. I don't have to abide by any outward social experience or definition or role. I don't have to say I need 10 diplomas to make myself valued or accepted. I'm accepted within myself. I don't need outside definitions or roles or attitudes. No, I don't have to make $80,000, $90,000, $170,000 a year to be accepted in who I am. That's status, that's ego. And that's very short-lived. And that's why you keep spiraling in those stories. So you say, wow, none of that matters. What matters is, am I feeding and accepting me? Remember, as the mother said to me the other day, are you in receivership of you? Most often than not, because those are very hard stories to accept and allow, they'll just keep pushing them out. That's not me. That's not me. That's denial. That's not me. That's not me. Those are not my issues. It's not me. When you say, yeah, I can accept it. When you accept it, you're allowing it to be harmonized and integrated and then alchemized. You can't alchemize it if you're denying it. That's where acceptance and allowance is pure, through the heart. I accept all of that I am. I accept that story of experience. I accept that that was not mine to fix. I accept that I was just perfect as I am. And in that, I receive myself. I receive myself. I receive myself. As you receive yourself, the heavens say, we receive you too. Here you go. Alchemize it. It's done. Alchemy. Alchemy is transmutation of the acknowledgement of who you are, the acceptance of who you are, and the allowance of who you are. Therefore, the now momentum gets bigger and grander because you're accepting it. You're not saying, no, that's not me, or no, that's not them. And you start putting outward judgments and projections because you're still thinking that you're not in a part of it. Yes, you are. You're the now momentum of Earth, planet aligning to higher vibrations. Earth, all of our Earth stories are us, all of them. Regardless of what you see on the news and how the news says who's who and who's blame. No, it's all us. So when you go within and you say, yeah, I'm going to accept that part of me. And no, I didn't like to see that violence. So how can I be as accepting and loving and gentle with myself so that I can change the collective consciousness momentum? I want oneness. I want inclusivity. I want belonging. I want joyful abundance for all. I want health and wellness for all. What is your now momentum? What's your now story of momentum? And whatever comes up to you, it's there for you to accept it. The plus is acceptance. I accept this. And then you get a bigger ring of experience. Well, they're saying exponential potential. I guess, yes, because we're going at an accelerated pace right now. Because when you're accepting all that you are and you're accepting and using and alchemizing your new gifts of choosing love and choosing peace and choosing the alchemy of you and doing your daily reflections, when you're integrating and processing that greater light, you get exponential experience, exponential light, exponential gifts, exponential, again, those offerings that Source wants you to have, right? Spirit has everything available to you. That elevator is already there, filled with every floor that you touch on that elevator pad is all filled with all things that Spirit wants you to experience, all rungs of the vibrational field of experience, life within life. And so the elevator is the metaphor. Every floor has an infinite level of experiences, right? The experiences. Spirit wants you to experience everything. But are you accepting it? Do you accept yourself that that was what created from that belief? You say, no, that's not mine. No, I'm not going to do the inner work because it's too hard. And that's okay too. But those experiences will continue because that belief must be resolved. Or you just continue on the same life cycle of those belief systems, and that's okay too. Your soul might want an extra lifetime of those beliefs. You might need it. That's okay. There's no judgment. But be okay when others choose to branch off and want the all. And your children will show that very quickly because the children nowadays are far more highly evolved than we ever were. They're going to want to get out of the house and do their own thing sooner and sooner, right? And they have that right because they have the wisdom and the intelligence we've just never given them credit for. The role as a parent is the empower. to inspire and to encourage. You know, to be there in those 3 E's as a parent. That's the foundation. To always have them return within so that they get used to working with their inner spirit, their inner guidance, and having it be paramount in their direction of who they are. Trust who you are. Spirit's always communicating with who you are. Spirit's always guiding you with who you are. Trust the inner more than the outer, because the inner creates the outer. You only want to be guided from within. That is your highest counsel. Do not surrender to lesser stories. Do not surrender to lesser stories, because those around you in the social experience, they're working through their own experience of soul development, soul growth, soul evolution. Why would you concede to someone else's story outside of you? They're working through their stuff. So concede within who you are, concede within your soul's path, concede within the power of now, concede within the potentiation of now, because soul wants to have it all, because you are all. When you say, yes, spirit, I want the momentum of now. I'm going to accept and own everything that comes before me. I want this momentum of now. I want this momentum of now. In this experience of that momentum, you're passing down all the potential of energy that you're accepting to all of those other soul aspects. See, these are both the same. Momentum of now, the hamster wheel. Are you going to create a hamster wheel of old experiences? Because this is top down, top down. That's now reality. Now reality, omnipresent, no longer linear. So you know that now is a harmonization of all timelines from 3 to 5D, 51% that you chose to come and release all of your dense beliefs and stories about who you are, what you exist within, and what exists within you. We are here to redefine it right now, right now, right now. Potentiation of now. So as you open up and allow and accept it, yes, that is a part of me. I'm going to harmonize that. Wow, that felt really good. I'm giving myself permission to receive. All of these soul aspects of you, all parties of you, all forms, all planets, everything. I get that. That's why you have those tremendous releases. They call it, you know, a few different things, but they're experienced in a few different ways, depending on what phase of your soul's evolution you're moving through, because it's all different for each person. And there's so many people that move through different depths, depending on what level of, you know, soul release they're going through. You know, the death of the ego, because that ego held onto those smaller vibrational beliefs. You can choose to believe this, but these are just egos. These are just the ego fight or flight response stories. You know, I wasn't accepted there and I was bullied there. Therefore, I'm going to create this, this, and this for me. And then you create these other solutions and these other stories that are still just a separation of self. Oh, you're whole. You don't need to create the separation of self stories. You don't need to keep, you know, creating the hamster wheel of limitation. You can just open up and allow and accept it in. Yes, I receive myself in that small story. That's that story. And then just reflect on that story. What was that story showing me? How did I feel? Did I feel light? That's when you're doing your work. You're processing. That's the processing and integration. And why your daily self-care is so important. Because as a soul and as a master, you understanding you're going to help show others how to alchemize. You're going to help others through their ascension path. You want to absolutely know what is alchemy. It's not just a one-liner. It's not a cliche of New World, you know, energy. To alchemize something, you must feel it, as Jesus said. Can you feel the pain of that story and what it created for you and all others? You don't need to keep going back to the story. You don't need to keep reliving the story. Just feel what was created in that story, that emotion, that energy. And it will always go back to those energies of limitation and separation. Well, I wasn't enough. I was rejected. Well, you know that rejection is just an illusion. So go back to where your purity of your now is. Well, I wasn't really rejected. I need to accept myself. It was my rejection of me, because I am perfect. I am whole. I am spirit. This is who I am. I am the am. I am the am. I am the all that I am. The healing of thy name. It's not about anybody else. It's always about thyself. I allow and accept. The momentum of now is allowance, acceptance, allowance, acceptance, allowance, acceptance. And the all of you gets the all of you. I'm chewing my drink. It's got aloe. Funny, when I first bought this drink, I thought they were just like little, I thought it was, you know, liquid. When I first had a drink of it, there was like these little chunks of jelly and stuff, and I was just like, whoa, gotta catch you off guard. So just accept, right? Like just accept. Wow, that jelly just felt like, well, that was like incredible, right? Accept and allow it. So Spirit wants to give you the texture of all creation. That's what that acceptance allow is all about. You are on a hamster wheel, if you will. But that hamster wheel can be as expansive and as wide and as profound as you so wish. So what momentum are you giving now? You can be on the hamster wheel of routine and density that says you're not enough, that says the world is in trouble, that says everybody's not healthy, nobody has access to their highest health, they cannot create youthfulness, whatever the lower vibrational stories are about density, separation, and limitation, greed and control, and all of those stories we all come from. There's not one person that doesn't come from those stories, because you have to know how to alchemize it, because that's not you. It's a version of you and in a story of you, so accept it. Yes, I was very limiting. Yes, I was this. Yes, I was that. I'm accepting thyself. And as you accept thyself, the heavens accept you, and you're on a higher vibrational now of allowance. And you get those extra gifts. You get that, wow, I just feel really good about myself, and all that energy that was in me clumping up my organs and my chakras. And I get to be more open with my children. I'm expressing myself in an open way, and I allow myself to have better communication. And I'm just expressing myself freely and authentically, because I'm not small. I'm really big, and I'm really grand, and I'm really awesome. And I want my children to know that too. And you live from this beautiful expression of now and allowance. Now I'm accepting who I am now. I love who I am now. And I'm going to accept all the stories that come before me. And Spirit, what do you want to show me in this moment? How does that story want to reflect to me my now acceptance of the all? Because I'm on a great, great momentum right now. And I want to start accepting myself as greatness, because I am great. And I don't need any outside experience to show me that. Whatever experience comes to me in a reflection, I'm going to say, yeah, that's all right. And I get to discern, no, I don't want to entangle in that dance. I did it before. I learned my lesson. Now I'm going this way. That's what the discernment comes for. Because sometimes those tests are to say, yeah, would you like to entangle in? I understand you as an acceptance of the all, and I accept that part of it. But I understand the energies that I'm being shown, and I want to go this way now. And I'm only going to give this, then this, to that, that, and that. You get to be the master of how you express, how you give and engage your energy, because that's part of mastery that one must learn as well. At what and how much do you want to offer your energy, and to whom? Because you want to be able to offer the energy to those that will value and honor it and understand it and use it in benevolence. And there are many, understandings, that we have created those experiences in other timelines where the energy, the understandings of energy and the power of creatorhood, using it not within the right use of will, and using it in disrespect of spirit and the elegance of spirit and the elegance of the gifts and the graciousness of spirit, they were used in negative experiences that still were done through the intentions of control and intentions of maluse or malintent, malevolence, whatever words you want to use, doesn't matter. But those were the expressions of now, and that's why you have to go through those fears. So call up those fears. Well, if I use my energy in this way, and I keep focusing on what portal and what momentum and what wheel of momentum am I feeding? Well, I'm going to feed what's my energies and all of my gifts and all of my experiences and all of my teachings. They're going to go into expressions of this, this, and this now. And I'm going to let Spirit just take and run with it. And Spirit's going to bring me back whatever, because I'm just surrendering outcome. I don't need a certain outcome. And I know that those that Spirit places before me, because I'm directing my energy here now, because it feels really light. Pay attention to how you feel in the now. Let go of the old stories. You've accepted it, you've honored it, you're processing all the information. And anytime that Spirit offers you a new opportunity to test you, are you going to go by that new higher version of you now? Or are you going to slip back into those old versional stories of, helping others when it doesn't serve you? And it over compromises. There's no return on that for you, because you'll always get those tests on every level of the scale, depending on where you're meant and how you're meant to serve. You need to have the highest potentiation of discernment. Because again, everyone is moving through their own unique pacing. And there are those that are just simply not ready or honoring or wanting your information and your wisdom and your light. There are those that just want your light, and they're not willing to learn the lessons of the soul. So you have to know when to close it off, and when to say, okay, I'm stepping out of this now because it's not serving my soul's growth. I'm not being nourished. And so that's, again, sitting within that daily self-care. What do I want to experience today? I want to receive myself, and I want others to receive me in love and nourishment and acceptance. And give yourself permission. I give myself permission to really accept the great gifts that Spirit has for me, because Spirit wants so much to be laid before you. The blessing of the heavens, The treasures of the many heavens are the treasures within your heart. How do you accept who you are within your heart? I accept that I've been through so much challenge, but now it's time for me to receive some really great goodness. And I give myself permission. And it's okay to let go of those stories that I held within my Akash for my whole lineage, for all divine feminine, that felt we had to be obligated to roles and definitions that don't fit who I am right now. Because I want to be a bigger, grander version of me. And you know that as you're stepping forward in your soul's highest and your best, absolutely, you're accepting and you're allowing all that is to be all that is. You're releasing all 3D versional stories that absolutely need to be rewritten about the roles and dynamics of a family, the definitions and dynamics of a family, and what and how much steeped density was held within the definitions and roles and obligations of family that can and absolutely be rewritten, and then absolutely filter out to the social systems, because it has to be aligned with the 5D. Absolute alignment with light and sovereignty. The free will and the right use of all. Not anyone having power over another, subjugating another in any way, mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, any way that control can be used to garner outcome or to control in any way. And it's filtered out to all systems that we see right now. And all of the wars and everything that is happening, just sit and reflect, what am I feeling about this? And go within. Be present with my now moment, because there's so much potential in this now for me to create a higher momentum of my receivership. I'm allowing myself to receive higher intelligence of why we're seeing what we're seeing in our reality right now. What is the deeper meaning of the virus that we've created? Well, they're showing me right now that all of you have absolute infinite potentiality of your health and your wellness. And you created something that was of a separative experience because that's what you're learning to wake up to, that you are not separate. The societies that you've given yourself power out to, you're now returning back within and saying, no, I want my reality to look like this now. And the only way you can do that is by going within. How do I feel? What beliefs am I operating in? What momentum am I placing out there as my energy? Because I am a vessel of light. I am spirit making matter. So how is my spirit matter in within all that I am, physical, mental, emotionally, etheric? What momentum am I giving it to? What focus and direction and how much energy am I giving to what? Because now I want to start creating consciously. Now I want to start returning and receiving for me, because it is always about you. You're following your highest and your best, and you're creating and you're receiving in you. You will also receive the absolute highest potentiation to access the highest potentiation of wisdom and intelligence to create a turnaround on any health issue. And then you don't have to worry about disease. The amount of energy that is spent on your planet right now, putting energy outwards from the inner, is profound. When you take a collective that is spending so much time on its outer experience, as opposed to just going within and creating love and acceptance from within, then all of that energy that is going out to create all of the conspiracy theories or the worry or the vaccines, anything that is going on in the outer experience, which is illusory. It's just illusory for you to give the reflection back to you to say, wake up, wake up, wake up. It's how you are of you and you. I am in charge of my health. I can feel good. I can start connecting with my innate body, the motherboard. The all that I am is my connection with spirit. I can start calling in the higher self through every moment for moment experience and start choosing from the higher self space, the omnipresent, the all, so that spirit offers the all. That I'm not just going to take one potentiation and control an outcome. No, I'm going to release all control of outcome, because I absolutely know I've done with that fear body. I'm done with that fear story. That I am worthy of the all. I am a great co-creator. I am a great manifester, and I am really, really great. I have great skills from many timelines, and I'm not going to be afraid to be it and live it. Because I'm here to show others that you too also have infinite skills and abilities and wisdoms and intelligence. Why would you want to play small? Why would you say that I only want this one experience? Why? And that's okay. But it's for each and every person to be okay with where they are at, and no judgment on anyone else. No judgment. Allow the now to be perfect. Allow the now to be infinite. Allow the now to be momentous. Momentous now, momentous now. I accept myself. I receive myself in this now moment. Because you may want to play a story of illusion or definition or obligation of someone else, so that you can say, yeah, I experienced it, but now I can get out of it. That's why you've come to this experience, to say that, yes, I can play the most dense and the most separated from spirit, and I can always work my way back to spirit, because I always am. I'm never separate from spirit. just an illusion. My essence is spirit. I am all spirit. And when people come near me, they absolutely feel my spirit because I am in alignment. I've got the God in me. God within, God without, I'm on it. I'm in it. I'm working in it. That's the omnipresent that I say in my acceptance of now I allow who I am as spirit. And the outer reality feels that acceptance. Yes, I receive myself as spirit. And all of creation is changed. Accepting the allowance of now. Allow, allow, allow. It's infinite. Be peaceful and ground. Present. I accept the infinite now. I receive myself as the infinite now. I receive myself as all versions of everything that I see. That's all me, and I just love it all because I want to love where I'm at. In all new moments, I just want to love the all. I just want to love the all. I want to be the energy of love because I love how Gaia is waking up with us. I love how we are waking up with Gaia. I love how we are waking up with one another, and each and every one of us, without a doubt, without a doubt, without a doubt, whether they know it or not. Without a doubt, we are the reflections of our allness. We are the reflections of our healing. We are the reflections of our wounding. We are the reflections of our separateness and why we created what we did at a collective level. We created all of it. Look at the wordings that we use within what we call the virus. Look at the wordings that we use. Those are the wounds of each and every one of you to go back within and say, what am I keeping from myself? The acceptance of who you are. Are you accepting yourself? Are you receiving yourself? The receivership, divine feminine, receivership. The will of the Father, the will of the male presence, the male energy. That's the creator ignition. But do you accept it? Create all the greatness you want, but if you're not going to accept it, it will never be received. See what we're saying? It has to be the completion of the cycle and circuit. Cycle and circuit of breath. Am I one with the heavens? All the way up, all the way down. I'm one with the planet. I'm one with the heavens. I'm one with the planet. I'm one with the heavens. The micro macro. The innate is the bridge of higher self, of spirit, of soul. You are the micro macro of the innate. Does that make sense? You are the bridge in the version of your reality with all others. You are the bridge of ascension. The innate is the bridge of ascension. You're using the innate of you as the innate that you are. You are the programmer of spirit, if you so choose. So what are you programming? How are you entraining yourself? From an old system of programs, yes, you can include it all, but now you can say, wow, that really taught me. I'm going to take the wisdom of it. That's it. I'm only going to take the wisdom of it because now I choose this. I choose the new me. Those wisdoms are of the new me. You are not your past. You are the wisdom of it. You are not your environment. You are the light within it. So step out and be all. Be the all. Now all. Now all. And just allow. Control nothing. Why would you want to? Spirit knows what spirit doing. Spirit know what spirit know that you want, and you will absolutely receive far grander than any control that you think you might want or have. For there's been so many experiences, and we all know this because it's been written in so many sacred texts. So many books have been written by the greatest tragedies and losses, and you are your own hero. That is what's called the hero's journey, because you understand in the process of awakening that you are your own hero, that you never ever need or ever wanted what you thought you wanted, because they were all based on those extremity stories that were outside of you. Did you think when you win so much money that that's actually going to be the fulfillment of your soul? It's an attribute, and it's an experience that can assist you in creating the fulfillment of the soul. The fulfillment of the soul is who are you in the acceptance of you as spirit. That's soul fulfillment. And why? All of experiences that you've gone through, your expression to seek outwards for your fulfillment will never ever work. Because fulfillment comes from within. Who are you? Who are you? Who are you as spirit? Are you living as spirit? Are you accepting yourself as spirit? Are you creating as spirit? You got to go through minutia to know how to transmute it, to know how to alchemize it. Say, yeah, wow, I'm going to really take time to process and integrate this because that's a huge lesson. I want to feel every part of it because I want to be a master. Because I absolutely know there's going to be 10 people on my path over the next 5 years who's going to need that part of wisdom. And I want it to go into the grids. I want it to go into the collective, that I've worked through that minutia. When you work through your minutia, again, as we said, dear lighted ones, you are again in the sacred trinity, Gaia, your collective, and all that is. Your aspects of the all are taking on that minutia that you're taking your time to process. So take your time. Be okay with the pacing of everyone else. Let it go. The only concern that anyone should have is within. Turn off the stuff about outside of you. Go within, process, integrate. Take your time to embellish your transmutation. How could I do it next time? If I want spirit to present, and I've done this many times, I said, spirit, present me with another experience like this so that I can choose to do it from this angle now. I can choose to do it from this angle, and your higher self and your spirit will give it to you. They'll give you another experience, similar, different mask, different body, different form, different story or movie, landscape. But they'll show it to you again and say, wow, let's practice your mastery in this experience. It might be compassion. I want to practice in your weekly, and we have those on our website, your weekly template of soul growth. We did a template for soul growth. For those that want to connect with our classes, we have classes, ascension books, webinars that assist you in this process of understanding who you are at a beautiful soul and giving yourself that space and time for daily self-care to review where are you at with your soul intentions. What are you moving through as a soul? And your soul will show you. This is what I'm working on right now. It's about compassion for self, for me first, because that's where it will always begin. Your compassion for the outer world begins with your compassion of you, compassion of self. Well, I went through this, this, and this, and this week I want to focus on compassion. I want to focus on absolute self-love. Physical, mental, emotionally, etheric, I want to focus on this. It's going to be my template of soul growth this week. And we made an illustration and a form for those that want to work with those. You want to connect with our classes. You want to connect with the divine sacred tribe connections, where we actually talk about the soul growth, the integration and the processing of all, because it goes into the all. Every one of you are soul experiences. You're not walking in just one body. You are the all. You're walking in the all, and the all is showing you into those experiences before you. Those are part of your soul aspects that are saying, are you going to accept me now? Yes, I accept you, but I want to play this way now. Right? You get to say, this is what I choose to play in now. I honor and I respect those aspects of me, but this part of my soul journey is like this now. And you have the right to be where you are. Allowance, honoring of the right use of will, and allowing everybody their free will to go about their path in their own unique pacing and their own unique way, because you have no idea what their soul lessons are. You cannot control anyone's soul lessons or what they receive or what they get or how they go. That's spirit. And anyone that does try to control will absolutely receive it back in kind so that they go back through their soul growth and they integrate. Why did I feel like I had to control that for another person? Maybe I got to look at me. So that's why you move through the minutia that you do. So there's many templates and many illustrations that we have to assist you with that process and how valuable it is for you to understand that you are a soul now. 3 to 5D is understanding you are a soul, and everything and everyone before you is the acceptance and allowance of yourself as it. Are you receiving yourself in the environment of your allness so that you are all? You cannot get to 5D and say, no, I'm just me now. No, no, every time you go through a monthly cycle of your own ascension, you're showing more and more of your allness. You're calling in those soul fragments of trauma. Say, wow, I experienced that. Now I understand what you're going through. Now I understand what you're going through. And you have compassion. Compassion for thyself first. Compassion for all others. So that you release those stories that held you separate and not belonging and not perfect. You're always perfect. You're always belonging. You're going to have those stories that will continue to vibrate out so that it comes back to you and you say, wow, what part am I now? I'm going to accept that part of me now. And I really want to explore this part of not receiving. Why did I let myself go so long with not receiving? I want to go deep and rich in this. I want to give myself the love that I did not receive from anybody. I'm going to give it to me now. And that's been one of my biggest experiences, 52 years. And there's so many of you out there. I see so much, and I'm so grateful that I get to feel a part of the ascension for humanity. And so many people feel so lonely. And they walk around just feeling lonely because they're not receiving the love that they can just receive from themselves within. And you can just feel the loneliness in their fields and in their vibrations. They're saying, wow, I just spent a whole day and nobody's offered me love. So many people. And all of the people in our nursing homes and all of the people in neighborhoods of underprivileged. Why do we even have those experiences? This is what the virus has taught us, that we are not alone, that we are not separate, that we are one. Socio-altruism. When you give it to yourself and you understand that, wow, how did I allow that belief for so long to think that I had to be so different to get the love that is just me? I am me. I give myself love. I'm worthy of great love, and I'm not going to put up with anything less. Then you start returning all value, all honor, all worthiness back to you. And you start coming back into the standard of who you are. You start coming back into the higher versional story of who you are. And you never, ever, ever give any power away to outside of you that calls you any less. Because you are important, you are valued, and your gifts are needed. Your shine, your benevolence, your brilliance, your genius, and spirit will keep giving you that momentum. And are you receiving of it? Yes, Spirit, I'm receiving it now. I'm letting go of all of those stories. I'm no longer going to spend any more time in those stories. I've learned my lesson. And it will always go back to worthiness. I'm worthy of so much better. I'm worthy of the greatness of who I am. I don't have to make it right for anybody. I'm tired of making it right for everybody. Not my place to. It's just my place to shine. And I release all responsibility, all cords, all dynamics, all dramas. They're not my dramas. I can't make it right for everybody. Don't want to. Not going to play that story anymore. Especially those of you that are meant to be leaders in any particular area. That will be an absolute that you must master. Detachment. And your various story timelines that felt, because that's a part of the global collective healing of transcension, is your responsibility that you thought you had to make anything right for anyone else outside of you. And that is, any leader will have to move through that, because leaders must understand they're not here to make it right. They're not to heal anyone. It is up to that participant. It is up to the client that absolutely chooses to be healed before anything that any healer before them will offer. It's a co-creation of acceptance and allowance and acknowledgement that I have the power to receive this healing, and I will be a co-creator in it. I'm a co-participant in healing. I'm a co-participant in the ascension of planet Earth. I'm a co-participant in the receivership of my own allowance of great love. I am worthy of great love, and I will no longer feel enslaved to lower vibrational programs. I get to choose to release it, because I will, because I am, because I am. And why do we allow ourselves to belong to lower vibrational programs of slavery, of routine, of most often than not experiences that nobody feels good within? How can we rewrite it? How can we be the benevolence and the love of receiving it? I receive those as part of my experience, but I'm not the past. But I can stand up and say, you know what? I can infuse this, this, and this. How can we all work together? This, and this. We're ready to receive one another. This, and this. We are all needed. This, and this. We all have great gifts. This, and this. We receive each other in one another. This is our oneness. Let's create something really great for humanity and step out of the win-lose experience. We are all winning. We are all a part of it. We are all needed. We are all necessary. And we are all really great love. And bring it into thyself. So many valuable lessons in this experience. Oh my goodness. And I'm going to discern what I put my energy into. I'm going to discern what energy I have in my environment. I'm going to discern the energies of those that are being reflected from those around me. And I'm going to discern how much and whom and how I give to. And I'm going to discern the momentum of my benevolent journey and just be love and radiate love, because that's what I choose to be. And I'm okay with it. And there will be others that will be uncomfortable with me shining and being love all the time. And that's okay. That will be their reflection. And those are the boundaries that one must set as a leader. Yes, it's okay that you're exactly where you are, but I'm still going to reflect, and I'm still going to present, and I will still allow the acceptance of who I am as love, because I accept you and I am love. And I will keep being love, and I will keep being shiny. I will keep creating something from nothing, because that is my gift that Spirit offered me. Spirit will always offer me greater moments of acceptance. I accept this, and I can receive love within it. Again, unconditional. Just to be unconditional with you. I unconditionally offer myself as love to creation. That's a big statement, and honor yourself if you so choose in your daily or your weekly self-reflections, that one statement. I unconditionally offer myself to creation as love. And see how that, practicing it, saying it, affirming it, and being it, changes the alchemy of your body, changes the alchemy of your reality. Your now allowance momentum is the unconditional love of you. And absolutely, Spirit will, the universe will converge to show you, wow, you just hit something really big there. You just hit that one, boy, on the neck. Wow. Unconditional, what does that look like? Because we come from systems, and we come from lineage, and we come from a kosh that is absolutely without any mistake, and you absolutely all know it. You all feel it. Everything that you've ever been given or shown has been conditional. I will love you if you give me more, I'll get you that. You be more loving and you do what I want to do, then I'm going to give you just a little bit. You give me this, and then I'm going to give you that. It's always conditional. Okay, school, conditional. You're not perfect until you get an A. You got to do this before you get that. You got to be this before you know that. You got to have a certificate before you get that. We're going to give you more money, but now you got to get this and that. No more doing, just be. I will constantly be the embellishment, the unconditional energy and vibration and offering of love. And you know why? Because you get to feel it and you get to receive it. I receive unconditional love from me. You don't need it from anybody else outside of you, but it will show itself to you, and you will have those show up that want to give you that love because they're sending out that same unconditional experience for themselves as well. They're on a momentum of unconditional love seeking. They want to seek what it feels like to be unconditional. Unconditional in your spiritual speech. Are you speaking on behalf of your spirit as unconditional? I am an unconditional vessel of light. And it doesn't matter what I receive because I absolutely know the spirit will receive to me, and I will receive myself in that receiving because I'm giving myself unconditional love. I offer what I offer because it's my vibration and I know my truth. I know who I am. I'm not defined by anybody outside of me or any system that's breaking up because it needs my light to say we can do better. We are unconditional beings of light, and we have infinite potentiation of all timelines that we've ever been on, of intelligence and genius, inventiveness that we're here to anchor onto our earth. Make no mistake about it. It's why you feel and you go through what you do so that you can return back to you. Wow, I am profound. Wow, I can say it and I can feel it and I can receive it. Yes. And that's the difference of vibration between the cliches of just saying and the being of it, the practicing of it, and the alchemy of it. And it's okay, you got to have it all in between. You got to be it. You got to be all spaces in between. You want to, because you want to know what real alchemy feels like. That is when you fully accept who you are as spirit. That's the alchemy, when you fully accept yourself as spirit. To say, I absolutely give myself permission to alchemy this because I am spirit. I have the power to alchemy this. I have the power to change this. I have the power to create a new story. I have the power to receive great love because I am spirit. I'm no longer going to hold myself back from being spirit. I am spirit. I give myself this permission and I will receive in spirit. That, my dear friends, make no mistake about it. And then we say with great pause. That is alchemy. When you absolutely know that you are giving yourself finally, after however many stories it took for you to get that one experience of permission, I receive myself as spirit and I'm worthy of a better story. And I get to choose. I get to rewrite my story. I get to rewrite my cells. I get to rewrite my health. And I get to rewrite the reality that I want my children to experience in their own unique way. Because it will be liberated, it will be free, and it will be expansive in all that is spirit. That's why we're here. Spirit didn't say, I'm going to put you in a body, but this is all you can do. No, spirit is spirit. Spirit is the creator of all that is. It's all about evolution, babies. Spirit says, here you go. And there's a whole planet for you to play on. And there's infinite systems within systems. Play. Be of benevolence, of good cheer, and play. Give yourself permission, that of spirit, the momentum of spirit, the momentum of allowance, the momentum of who you are as love, receivership. I am receiving myself as the divine mother. I want myself to play. I want myself to receive play. I want myself to receive greatness. I want myself to receive abundance. Why not? I'm meant to experience it all. I want that for myself. I want that for my kids. I want for my kids' kids, my kids' kids, 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 kids. We are here to create new Gaia, dear ones. Rewrite the story. The allowance of now, the momentum of now, the profundity of now. Let go of control. Spirit's got a much greater plan for you. Are you going to allow it? Are you going to receive it? I receive my greatness. I receive myself as spirit, and I am spirit, and I can alchemize anything. I give myself that permission. I have the power to alchemy anything. I have the power to change all stories. I have the power to reflect and review and give myself daily self-care because I love myself enough to receive. That is the power of potentiation, the power of now. And so, dear lighted ones, we love you so very much. We have so many classes that we're doing. We have our weekly gatherings. We have our weekly alignments so that you can totally enmesh in how the process of ascension goes, how to align yourself to a new vibration, how to align yourself with new potentiational stories. Because so many of you are parents and so many of you are saying, how do I get out of what I have been? It just seems like a routine of density. You got to take yourself out and put yourself anew. You got to create that new story from now. Accept it now. Create a new momentum now. And look, release what was and see this new version. What are you going to dial to? What station are you going to turn it to? And turn off and discern what is not feeling good. In any one moment, feel, how do I feel in this experience? How do I feel with those around me? How do I feel the energies coming back at me? How do I feel with the news that's being played? Feel, and then turn it off. Discern, turn to something better, create something better. Remember, we're going into these experiences of destination that we've never created before. So we have to awaken the creative spirit, the toolkit of the Christ, as we said many, 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 many years ago on our radio shows. The toolkit of the Christ is the imagination and the sacred child, the adventure, the excitement, our ability to explore, express, and play as spirit, infinite creative spirit, where you make something from nothing again and again 1,000 times over because you are spirit. Give yourself permission. The permission of the vibration. You are a unique vibration. Can you give yourself permission of that? Or are you looking at the stories on how to be others' stories and versions of stories and trying to trying to be and perpetuate or pretend something else that you're not. Your unique vibration is you, and it can be felt with everybody that's before you. Who are you? Be the vibration of you. Be the vibration of you. Be the vibration of you. And let go of the smaller version of stories that are other lineages, other timelines, other woundings. Heal it. Alchemy it. Then choose anew, the momentum of now. And Spirit will place it all before you. Control no outcome. Control not. Fear not. It's all God. It's all you. Everything you see, everything you hear is you. How does that feel? Wow, I'm so powerful, I can do this. And you create from a place of spirit, not ego. The stories will show you where you're creating from. Anything before you will show you where you're creating from. Is it a magnificent synchronicity of spirit? Or are they dramas, conflict, unanswered resolve of receivership? Doesn't matter, you need it all in between because you need to know how to alchemize it. That's the part of being a master. You can't get 3 to 5D overnight. You got to take your time and you got to process what your soul wants you to process. Your soul wants you to know how to alchemy because you're going to be helping others. You're going to want to assist others. It's not just by saying it. Yes, I acknowledge it. Yes, I let it go. So now let's feel into it. Where did that come from? And how can I see myself and love myself and practice being in love with myself? Self-love is a practice. You need affirmations. You need constant entrainment. And it's a process. Every day is a self-love process. Create love for your body, love for your expression, love for your receiving. Fall in love with receiving just as much as you fall in love with giving. And that is one of my soul lessons. I'm ready now to receive. It's my time to receive. Absolutely my time to receive. And I want to fall in love with it. I want to feel it for all it's worth. And I want to get in there. I want to say, I'm ready to receive, Spirit. Bring it to me. Mama's open. I want to receive. Let's do this. I'm ready to receive. I've refined myself. I've reflected. I've done the inner work. I'm ready to receive. I'm ready to step up. I'm ready to be big, and I'm giving myself permission to, and I don't need anything outside of me for it. All within. And Spirit says, you learned your lesson. Because the lesson was you didn't need anything outside of you. You didn't need anything outside of you to give you the love that you already are. You already were. You were perfect. And nobody outside of you can be it for you because they're going to give you lesser versions. They're going to say, this is what you should be. This is who you are. This isn't. No, they're all lesser versions. You're a goddess. You've come from very different profound places. You're here to anchor it on earth, and you're there to show others. You are profound. Step out of the lesser stories. It's all needed, but you don't have to stay there. And it's okay if you do. There's no judgment. So give that to yourself too. I'm not going to judge myself for being here because you'll learn it either way. It's always a learning growth. It's always accepted. You'll always have that growth within it. But those of us that have done cycles upon cycles upon cycles, eons upon eons, and we're now ready to activate the brilliance of who we are because we've been here forever. Forever, dear ones. Those of us that can see it, the timelines. And nobody can touch or play with your Akash. They just simply can't. For any of those stories that are out there about people doing this and people doing that, nobody can control anything about your soul destiny. They're illusions. They're illusions of controlling games and controlling stories that like to muse and play and ponder. They just can't. So just know who you are as spirit. Know the universal laws. Understand universal laws. Plays within the universal laws. It's perfect. God is always perfect. Everything is always perfect. You're perfect. So allow it. Be it. Allowance and acceptance. That's awesome. So dear lighted ones, our links are below. Our new website is also below. Yay! Allow yourself the profundity of now. Don't put any control on outcome. Release all expectation of outcome. Allow yourself to continually minutia who you are. Everything right now is a loving experience. Wow, Spirit, what are you gonna show me now? What are you gonna show me now? What are you gonna show me now? And just be open and loving. Be the energy of love. Be the essence of love. Offer yourself unconditionally as love, and you shall receive it in all of God's blessings, because that's the vibration of God. That's the vibration of evolution. Most powerful energy in our universe is love. We love you, dear lighted ones, and we honor each and every one of you. We are one, we are one, we are one. Send prayers and love to healing to all of our planet and all of our children. We love you so much, and we love you and honor you. Bye.